everybody. Welcome to this edition of the day's Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great trading day. This is our Daily Market Commentary for Wednesday, the 6th of November, 2018. For those of you new to the channel, thanks for making your way here. For those of you that have been with us in the past, you know that we go over the same 10 to 12 futures markets every day, but the most important thing is we leave the lines on the charts. And the reason we leave the lines on the charts is so that we can see how trades evolve over time. So not a whole lot to cover today. If you're a regular viewer, then you are probably used to seeing some of the levels that we had and realize not a lot came into play today, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that we have. So starting with the S&P, so the S&P level that we'd had identified yesterday, I thought this morning that there was a good chance we could make it all the way down to this 2605 region. There's room for it to fall down to that 2605 region. It just wasn't able to get there. There was just not a lot of activity going on today, really at all. As we kind of rallied up. I put this little trend channel here. Let me remove that. On the 15-minute chart, it actually looked a little bit cleaner. But we still have an area up here of small time frame resistance that we believe that we could see a reversal coming out of this level. And then down here is where we have that potential turning point in the future. So both of those levels still holding true, nothing in between worth trading, and that's really what I put a tweet out earlier today, kind of about that. We could drop down to 2605, but I don't really see a great entry point into it, unless maybe you use candle-to-candle style of trading. Next, the Nasdaq level. So the Nasdaq level, we still have this level, this area down in here. Now, I will tell you, look at how many times we've come close into that area. I today didn't feel great about it because I felt like we were just chopping around above it. And so put a tweet out earlier today that I wasn't in love with this region as we had chopped around above it. But then lo and behold, we popped up out of it. So it is still valid. It does still exist. I'm going to leave it in place. Got a little bit of a reversal. Some of you may have picked off this little tiny reversal here off of this 15-minute level in there for a potential short, but that one was not on my list ahead of time. Crude oil. So crude oil, yesterday we had come close to our entry point. Today we were unable to fulfill it. Yesterday I had mentioned this area here, didn't think that we would hold it, and we did not. This was actually a pretty good potential for a breakout short. Still have, I think, some potential if you want to get short on one of the retests back up into this region. You can even go down to, say, a 15-minute chart and see this area in here. Don't love the way that this wick came back up into this area, which kind of weakens it a bit. So I'd have to look right through here. So if you do want a pure reversal play on a small time period, I think that right in there on the 15-minute, you will get a true reversal on a small time period. Now, that's right around the London market open. So that time of day, there's typically some decent opportunity at that time of day. It also served as support back through here. Gold. I haven't really highlighted a level in gold in quite a while, as we've not really been in a region worth highlighting. And here's why. I mean, look at that tight range that we've been in between. So I'm just going to let that kind of continue to run. Looking at our bonds, Aussie, Euro, and Canadian dollar markets. So on our bond market, once again, still in between our levels. The Canadian dollar hasn't hit, the Aussie hasn't hit the breakout level, but the Euro we will talk a little bit about. Now, we got our breakdown out of here. Now, remember what I talked about yesterday was this had a pretty wide range for the stop loss because it goes above the prior pivot high, which is way up here. So for a lot of people, that's going to be too much risk up here. So you may or may not have been in this thing already. But if you did keep your stop above the prior pivot high, then you got to suffer some heat here, but you're still doing okay. This actually now is setting up for those of you that are more chart pattern style of traders. This is setting up with a little bit of a, what would that be? Is that a bear flag pattern? I think that's called. On that, this is a little bit of a bear flag pattern that's really kind of forming. So a breakdown out of here could give you another re-entry on a short. If you're interested in it, you could realistically probably do a I'm just messing my lines all up here. You could realistically probably just do candle-to-candle trading from this point if you believe that there's room for it to keep falling. Notice, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Once you get a lower low, then you just have your stop above the prior higher high. The Canadian dollar came screaming down today, but this is not, it really hasn't done a whole lot over the course of the past week, right? It's, a couple of weeks. It was here, went up, went down, back to kind of where it was. And so the commodities, the currencies are not giving me a ton of great opportunity right now. It feels like we're kind of in a little bit of a stall point in general in most of our currencies. That's why that euro trade's about the only one that we've had go off recently. Same thing in the Great British Pound. Now, the Great British Pound, we did get that entry yesterday, and then price came up right to about where we said the target would be, where that fair price area is. We came back into the area today, and we're just moving out of it. I would no longer be in this thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to remove my lines here, as I don't think this is a valid tradable area going forward. So going forward, you might have something in here on the very small picture under the Great British Pound. For those of you that are interested in this gap fill right through here, I would put that as a pretty small time frame entry, but it is still going to be somewhat valid. So let me change my colors on here. You know that anytime we go to a small time frame, we go to the purple as our areas. So remember, purple time frame just means slightly lower probability. So we want the levels to be a bit smaller and take a bit less risk. And then the Japanese yen, we did not come anywhere near our area in the yen as well. So all in all, not a whole lot of movement today that really set itself up for high probability trading. There's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands. And I will say this time of the year, you're going to have more days than not that you're sitting on your hands. I'll keep doing a video for you anyway, because I got to have something. I got to have something fun that I can talk about. And one last thing, real quick, before I wrap it up for today, is I do want to just highlight. I put this on Twitter yesterday, and I think I mentioned a bit yesterday. GoFundMe.com/IIE Financial. I am running a marathon. I've never done one in my life, but I'm really, really hoping to get out there and run one. And I've got a really important charity. It's, there's a missionary family that my wife and I we really support, and they're doing very, very important work literally around the world from us. And if you are looking for something to contribute to, we'd love to have any support you can get, even if it's $1. This family does everything that they do completely off of donations, and they, supporting this family and their missionary trip would mean a whole lot. So thanks so much for taking a couple of minutes to do that. That would really, really mean a lot to me, and more importantly, it means a lot to that family that's doing the work. So until tomorrow, hope everybody has an absolutely great trading day. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.